So for the first part of the reading, I'm using the Lenormand cards. And at the top here we have the birds, the man, and the anchor. And the birds and the man together have an energy of like worrying. Um, it could be like a nervous excitement. The man is probably your masculine energy. Um, and you see you're looking at stability and you're putting that nervous chatter behind you, but you still have this inability to let go because you see you're at the crossroads. You haven't actually taken the step because you're restraining yourself. And down here, I think you're right about your desire to be unburdened. You want to see yourself go somewhere in the future. And the tower stands for like institution, school, work, stuff like that, government. And this stands for luck. So, you want to find something, you want to move forward. Another way that you could read this card is that you have a boyfriend and it's going well, but I don't know if you have a boyfriend and it's going well, but that could be another way to read that. And so right here, if we're reading it like you're trying to figure out that to let go of that worriedness, the book card was the answer. And I offered to let you read my book, so I'm gonna send it to you. But also researching and figuring stuff out on the internet and stuff like that. I think that Dad and even Mom had a lot of an impact on us with being afraid to take chances and being afraid to like make big steps and make big moves. But all three of us are capable of that, and we're smart enough, and we understand like what's going to work out and what's not because we follow our intuition. So just don't let like the old like Dad's sayings in his head, like don't touch that, don't do that, that's dirty or whatever. All right, that last video got cut off because my phone died. But what I was saying was, like Mom and Dad kind of stopped us from being able to try new things and stuff like that. They sheltered us a lot, so we need to just get more comfortable with going out of our comfort zones, So with the Lumeria cards, I got the Our Ancient Future, and that one is about preparing for transformation. So this is like also the universe saying like you have a reason why you were born on this earth, and you just haven't figured it out yet because you had to go through the steps to get to this point. And this card kind of elaborates because like she's standing in the mud and there's like skulls, but there's also growth. So it talks about birth and death and appreciating those cycles, and appreciating the mud that you've had to go through and the hard life that you've dealt with. It made you a stronger person. It caused you to have values. It caused you to give a shit. It caused you to, look at, not just look at the good and the bad like everything's black and white. You got to step away from looking at things like it's bad or good. And as the card says, get the full spectrum. And this Earth card talks about like being grounded, going out into nature. Maybe you should do some meditating outside or something. But it can also talk about the roots you've grown, the foundation that you've grown. Like, don't feel like you haven't done anything because there's so much that you've done that you gotta recognize that for yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. And then going back to the first row here, I think it's talking about like listen to the stories that you've been telling yourself and ask if they're still true. Um, like, is that actually a bad thing? Is that actually a good thing? Like, focus on your qualities. And I think that's what this is talking about. You're healing yourself. You are looking inside what's inside of you, what's in your mind. Yeah, like what you're made of. Um, and this card is more talking about like what you do with it and what the flow of it. So it just feels like you have so many ideas coming from within, that you don't know what to do with it. But don't overthink it. Just do what you love. And yeah, I know you love all these things here, but just keep doing all of them. And it just feels like this this transformation that you're on. You're just It's still like the soup is still brewing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not ready yet. You're not ready just yet. But then this card was on the bottom of the deck. So this one stands for like what makes you unique. And I think that's what all these things are going on in your head here. And you're feeling like you're trying to find connections out there in the world and stuff like that. And you gotta not stop looking at the good and the bad. I don't know, I think the video went over 2 minutes. But stop looking at the good and the bad and look at what makes you unique. We have all those quirks, and maybe our parents said that it was a good thing or a bad thing, but we don't have to worry about what they think it is anymore. We are looking at our quirks for what we think they are and how they help us. Like, I'm loud and I talk a lot and I'm a know-it-all and blah blah blah, but at my job working at the dispensary, I need those qualities. I need to be able to stand my ground. I need to stand up to people who are being mean or whatever. But at the same time, I also have to hold space for the people that need help and stuff like that. And I'm able to do that. I'm able to like read people, I guess, for lack of a better term, and be compassionate with them and understand them. So like, those are qualities that I think are really good qualities about myself now because of how I look at myself now, not because of what people told me in the past. So mom and dad used to think I talk way too much. I know mom used to think I was loud and she'd tell me to be quiet and that I was too extra and whatever, but I don't think I am anymore. I don't care what she used to think about me. I don't care that she used to tell me to be quiet and stuff like that, because I can talk all I want. There's a time and place, obviously. So I used to let that make me feel like shit. Don't let that make you feel like shit anymore. I feel like that's what this is saying, is you're going through this transformation, and look at all the information that you've accumulated. Okay, this is what makes you this unique person. All right, and I brought out this cute Alice in Wonderland deck that I got. And it's clear by these two cards, uncertainty. When I first read this, it said, "Who will you become?" Okay, so maybe that's what you're like. Who am I? You're like looking at yourself in the mirror like this. Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Am I just here to pay bills? No. I wonder what will happen next. Hey, look, it's your kitties. And there's the door. So I feel like what the universe is saying is, this is you in the physical, but this is you in your mind. And what you need to do is stop sitting here waiting for for you to like find the knowledge somewhere. You have to get up and make your own path and walk through that door and see what's over there. You have to physically make decisions to do the stuff, to actually do the stuff that you're considering doing. So instead of wondering what's going to happen for next, instead of wondering what will happen next, actually try to do it. And I feel like with this one, law is not justice, rules that are not fair. It seems like you're weighing the pros and cons, and the universe just yelled at me too much. You're weighing the pros and cons too much, okay? They're saying this is all a part of growing up, but this perpetual youth, you don't have to be a kid forever. And you're at what, 24 years old, 25 years old, you guys are having your quarter life crisis. It is a real thing. And because you've had this life crisis, you're saying, who in the world am I? And you're getting to know this adult version of you, because as you might have been an adult at 18, but like you didn't have it all figured out yet. So you're trying to do that. And maybe you feel like you have some old karma that needs to get fixed. But I feel like the universe says there's nothing to hide. You don't have anything to hide. You're not that kind of person. Okay, you need to believe in strange encounters. And I honestly would not be surprised if you didn't find some cute guy one of these days based on that Lenormand reading. But you never know. You might find like a relationship, or you might find somebody that you can like have. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be like a career kind of, or you guys are both going towards the same goals for some kind of hobby or whatever. I don't know what you've been into. We haven't really talked, but and then this next card, follow your own good advice. Yeah, trust yourself. And with those Lenormand cards, it was talking about your inner guidance, your deeper knowing of yourself. No one else knows what's deep down in there when you're sitting alone and you're thinking at night. Like, that's when you're closest to yourself. And that's when you have to do that work of reprogramming what's actually true and what's not. Keeping up. Maybe you're worried about the time. But nonsense, you have plenty of time. Yeah, time to talk sense into yourself. Don't let this narcissistic abuser keep making you feel bad with these words that don't even exist anymore. I was thinking the other day, like, it feels like these words, that still play in our heads that people used to say, it feels like a glass wall that I just want to punch through. Like, it's not a brick wall. It's not that thick. I can see that it's fake. I can see that I need to get through it, but it's just hard. Yeah, so use the positive energy when you're feeling it, and make that choice. Investigate. Remember, we talked about looking into stuff and researching more. Okay. Maybe you have something to do with animals. I'm not sure. But this deck does have a lot of animals in it. Yeah, so don't look at yesterday. Don't look at the past. Unless you are looking at it because you're thinking of what you liked in the past, or you're thinking of what shaped you to be, or you're looking at how maybe you're bad, the qualities you thought were bad about you are not. They're actually good. Just don't be afraid to be you. Like, we all made mistakes. We've all done things that we didn't know were bad, or we didn't realize the gravity of the situation. But you are doing great. And it just really feels like you just need to, like, actually physically move forward and get out of your head. Like, as I say that with as much love as possible.